How do you make your first 100K on LinkedIn? This is something that lots of people ask me and they struggle to know how to do this. What are the secrets that help people actually get predictable revenue from LinkedIn? Well, it's not content, because if it was content, you would have done it by now. And so many people fall into this trap of posting and posting and posting. They even, put complex content schedules together, buy courses. If content was the answer to getting predictable revenue from LinkedIn, you would have solved it already. So I'm going to map out how I would advise my clients and how I'd work with my clients to actually get to the first 100K and scale that up to their first 500,000. So when you think about LinkedIn, I want to first, before we get into the gubbins of this, is actually really go, well, let's just reframe LinkedIn for a moment. Many people think that they need to understand the inner depths of the platform. They need to get good at understanding the algorithm and all the tactics. And what that does, it sends them on a rat race, a hamster wheel of going round and round and round and round and round, buying stuff, chasing the latest trends, and it's never ending. What you actually need is something that's more timeless. If you don't want to be a LinkedIn expert, you need a timeless strategy. And that means understanding how humans behave, because the platform follows the humans. It's not the other way around. So if you understand human beings, if you think about LinkedIn as just a room full of people, what you need is a strategy to engage people in that room. And that's what I'm going to map out with you in this video. So if we're mapping out that 100K, the first thing we've got to think about is, okay, what am I selling to get to that 100K? What am I actually selling? The more poorly defined what we're selling is, the harder it is. So for an example, if I am selling a 10 grand offer, I need 10 customers. 100K is 10 customers. That's it. I need 10 customers to pay me $10,000, £10,000 to get to my 100K. So, okay, now let's dig into that and go, what are people buying for 10K? What problem do they want to solve that they're prepared to pay 10K for? I have to map out what's the problem they want to solve. And this is where people go wrong. They go, I want to sell my coaching, but people don't want to buy coaching. They want to buy a solution to a problem. They want to solve a problem. What is the problem? And you map out both your problem and how you approach fixing that problem and what's the end result of all of that process you're going to do. So it might be coaching that you're actually going to solve the problem, but map out the steps of that coaching that's actually going to take them through that journey. And what's the end result? For an offer to be viable, there has to be a problem, there has to be a process, and there has to be an end result. If you don't have them, you are selling something blind and it will be hard to fricking sell. So you need an offer that fixes a problem people want to solve. Now I've got my offer and I'm really clear on what that is. Who are the people who want that? Who are the people who want that? Now I can go after lots of different people. I could go after CEOs, solopreneurs, coaches, consultants, lawyers, accountants, marketing managers, salespeople, all of those. But who are the best people to go after? Who resonate? Who are easy to reach, who have budget and the ability to buy it, who have a quick decision-making cycle. So I might go, well, hang on a minute, this offer, the sweet spot is actually CEOs of large companies. That's the sweet spot. But actually, they take a long time to make a decision, whereas founders of smaller, slightly smaller businesses can make quicker decisions. So now I map out an audience that want that offer. I might have to customize it a little bit once I've picked the audience, tweak it a little bit, but I've now got a group of people that I know want to solve that problem. So now I've got something to sell, somebody to sell it to. Now I need to package up my message so I resonate with them. So I need to think about all of the things that are going on in their day-to-day and get really clear on all of the stuff that's going on, that they can feel and see the tangible stuff. Very often what people do is they categorize people's problems and they give them category names like stuck or confidence or clarity, which doesn't actually mean something to that founder day to day. They're not walking around going, oh, if I only had more clarity, or if I had more confidence, if I was unstuck. They're not saying those things. And you want to try and tailor and package your message so that it's saying the things that they're feeling. saying the things that they're saying to themselves. That's what really resonates. And that's your message, which then wraps your offer, wraps your profile, and everything becomes tailored to that message. Many people get stuck on this whole process because they're trying to write their message, but they haven't defined their audience and they haven't defined the problem they're solving and the solution they're offering. So what happens is their message gets muddled. And then when they are posting and they're doing all this stuff, it's just not landing. People are not getting it. And so this work is essential that I do with my clients, because if they don't do this, they will go round and round in circles and they'll go, LinkedIn doesn't work for me. Then they'll go to Facebook and try the same thing and go, oh, Facebook doesn't work for me. Because fundamentally, the understanding they're humans and where they're at, they've missed that part. So we've got an offer wrapped up. We've got an audience wrapped up. We've got a message wrapped up that's resonating. Now we need a repeatable process to actually acquire leads and convert them. The first part of that we can do on LinkedIn, but the second and third part and the fourth part, closing those and winning the clients, actually happen offline. And so we have to build this whole system. How do we get leads? How do we get them on a call? On that call, how do we do it well so that they see the need and we present our offer? And then how do we close them? That's a little process. So how do we get leads? Well, there's 5 different ways you can get leads. And in the description around this video, you will see a link where you can do a quiz that will help you understand the 5 different paths that you can use to get reliable leads on LinkedIn. Quick tip, by the way, posting content is the hardest. So if you've got time on your hands, that is the hardest one. But if you want to do it efficiently, there's others. So content is the first one that everybody runs to, but it is actually the hardest one. It requires the most time spent on the platform. The second one is newsletters and an email list. Building a newsletter and email list allows you to nurture people at scale. And if you've not used LinkedIn, or you don't have that depth of brand awareness that people know you everywhere, nurturing people and building that trust with a newsletter is powerful. And so I do this on LinkedIn. I also do it on email because I control that system, that ecosystem of email and newsletter. So I recommend this for experts because it allows them to flesh out their ideas and thoughts in more depth, and it builds more trust more quickly. So email list and newsletter is powerful. Next, we have social engagement, relationship building on the platform. This is really powerful if you want a relationship-driven sale. It's a little bit longer of a process, so over 3 weeks, but it does help you have more relational conversations with people. It's soft selling. So it fits for people who have a more consultative approach, and it's about trust building over a period using strategic engagement on the platform. Tends to work well with people who are active on the platform. So social engagement is another one. Then we have hyper-targeted prospecting. Now, this is good for salespeople, but it's also good for people who can make quick decisions. So it's high impact, high touch, it's shorter, and it has a really high conversion rate at 10% on average. So meetings booked from that is really powerful. And then the fifth one is actually events and webinars. They work really well where you need to build trust quickly. You can take somebody from not knowing you to deeply bought in 45 minutes. So they're really powerful at building trust in a short space of time and triggering conversations. All of these 5 paths, content, email list and newsletter, social engagement, hyper-targeted prospecting, and events and webinars, all of those things are to do the first stage of your system, capturing leads. That's where LinkedIn is to be used, to capture leads. Once you've got those leads, the next bit is to get them on a call. And that requires you to stay aligned to your message. People will not go on a call with you unless you're aligned with your message. You're talking about what they want. So they will come on a call because they see interest in what they want. On that call, you've got to uncover their needs. You've got to diagnose it and propose your solution. And then post-call, you've got to either propose it, follow up in a way that isn't just chasing them. You've actually got to keep the momentum of their decision, their eagerness to want that outcome, want that problem solved. And that's how you get calls. That's how you get clients. This is an entire process. And many people who want to get their first 100K or scale their business with LinkedIn are not thinking in this way. They're thinking day by day by day. And so their strategy isn't actually compounding. It isn't building anything because they're just going post. Oh, I'll post another day, another day, another day. And that works, but it takes a long time, a long, long time. On average, it can take 2 to 4 hours of consumption for the content to do the work when it's not part of a plan to go from stranger to one client. So if I was starting from scratch today, I would literally map out one problem, devise a solution for it, pick an audience for it, dial in the message and package it all up. My profile, everything I'm doing is all resonating to that one group of people, that one problem, that one solution. And then I would implement one system, one of those 5, to go and capture leads and move them through that journey from lead to conversational call, to unlocking their proposal and presenting my offer, to following that up to close the deal. You need those systems if you want to get your 100K. It's not as simple as just doing a lot of stuff and it'll all magically come together. It's not as simple as just posting, and hopefully it'll all work. You need a system. And if you've not got a system right now, 2 things you can do. Number 1, around this, there is a quiz you can follow. Take that quiz and it will show you the best path that fits for you. Second, you'll also see a link to sign up to my Social Selling Accelerator, where we will help you map out those things and train you, coach you, and support you in going, I'm capturing leads with one system and converting them into clients. And we help you do it in 30 minutes per day. So if you want to jump in, you can find the link to the accelerator, click the link, sign up, and take the quiz to find the perfect path for you. Thanks for listening.